This is the Metal Queens podcast. I'm Steve Richards. Paralandra formed in the summer of 2013 when Casandra Carson and her dad, Paul Carson, began writing songs together to play a one-time event at their local county 4th of July celebration, Springfield, Missouri. The response was so positive and they enjoyed it so much they decided to continue booking shows and writing songs. They recorded and released a homemade CD titled Rise Up, which sold over 1,000 copies at local shows. They have supported artists such as Tantric, Saliva, Dokken, being added to the Kiss Cruise, and a lot of other artists too. They've headlined at the Whiskey A Go Go on the Sunset Strip. Their first professionally made full length album, Street Magic, came out in 2021. And then a year ago, April of 2024, they released their second full length album. They already have done some tour dates earlier this year. We'll talk about touring coming up. But first, Casandra, welcome to the MQP, the Metal Queens podcast.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. I know you're off the road right now. We'll talk about some touring coming up this summer and then going into the fall as well. So, how would you describe the sound of Paralandra to someone who's never seen you guys before, never listened to a Paralandra record?
I like to call it just high energy, melodic rock music. And that stays pretty true throughout like any Paralandra record. It's going to be guitar riffs, solos. Typically, it's like high energy vibes with the songs, upbeat, but can get a little bit heavy here and there. But then, yeah. Anyway, I'm going like too in depth with it now. But, high energy melodic rock is what I would say.
All right. So you're in the band with your dad. I know you probably get asked this often. Your dad, Paul, you two started this band. First two-part question, did you always want to get into a band with your dad? And what's it like to play with your dad, record with your dad, and be on the road with your dad?
It's awesome. Like, I guess it wasn't always in the plan, but my dad has always been involved in some type of band my whole life, whether it was like at church on the worship team or in a cover band or, original project or whatever. I was always like, watching him practice at home, have band practice at home, and then, of course, be on stage as well. And he's such a great performer and a great player. It was just like, I always enjoyed watching and listening to him play. It's just good, So I guess whenever I got older, like around whenever I turned 11, I got my first guitar. So whenever I really started taking it seriously and like, teach me how to play Eruption and teach me how to play Master of Puppets. Like I want to play all the crazy stuff immediately. And honestly, he would just teach it to me. He'd be like, okay, if that's what you want to learn, then cool. But then like out of that came a little bit of songwriting, and I was like scared to sing in front of anybody until I was like probably, I don't know, 18 years old. But I would sometimes show my dad song ideas. So then he would kind of help me with them or be like, oh, that's actually really good. And so that kind of gave me a confidence boost. But yeah, I mean, 2013, whenever the band started, was really our first time kind of like giving it a try, like writing some songs and performing them live and just testing the waters to see if people would even be interested or even like the music that we were creating. Like we were enjoying it. It was fun for us. And it has been this whole time. It's really just been a snowball effect over the years. But, we're just enjoying the ride. We're writing music that we find meaningful and great expression in one way or another, and it's connecting with a lot of people. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that's a good way to answer your question.
Well, what was it like the first time you performed live with the band? What was the feeling like when you got the reaction from the crowd?
The first time, well, I guess that would have been at that Rogersville show. It was good. Like I had a lot of family there, and I
Mm.
remember being nervous because a lot of them had never heard me sing by myself before. So that was a little nerve-wracking. Like I would sing in choir or like sing harmony with the family because that was just like expected of everyone. Um, but yeah, so that was a little bit scary, but I really enjoyed it and it was really fun for me. And then after the show, so many people like said that I did a great job and said that they liked my voice. And there was even like a person there from the local newspaper that came up to me and they were like, I want to do an article on you and come talk to me. And so it was a really positive response. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should just keep doing this. I'd like to do it again. It was fun. Like, why not? So,
Now, I know you guys are always working on songs. I want to talk to you about your songwriting process a little bit. I understand I was reading you still record voice memos
yeah,
as part of your process that
I
helps you?
do. Yeah, all the time.
What else is the process like? Do you write some of the lyrics and then your dad you trade off?
Yeah, even like sometimes within one song, like I'll write the lyrics for the chorus and my dad will write the lyrics for the verses or vice versa. Or even like I'll write one line of a verse and he'll write the next line or whatever. It's like very mix matchy. But there are also songs where like I've written it in its entirety or he's written it in its entirety, but it's really collaborative and we're both, I think, very open to each other's ideas and respect each other as songwriters and lyricists. So, I mean, for me, whenever my dad's offering me some advice or maybe a suggestion, I'm all ears. Like, oh, well, you write really great lyrics, so what could you potentially see with mine, you know? Um, and sometimes I'll do the same thing to his, and he's always given me the green light. Like, if you think of anything that's like way better or more clever, like, please have at it. Like, he's way too humble, anyways, but he's the same way where he's just always looking for another person's opinion to make it better. So,
How do you think you've grown as a vocalist and guitarist over the years?
wow. Well, a lot in so many ways. Um, as a vocalist, I have grown in just like learning about my instrument and taking care of it and how to take care of it and figuring out what works for me, you know, and that comes with like a lot of trial and error. So, um, just learned by trying new things, looking for other people's opinions on like, a vocal spray that you should try or warm up videos or cool down videos or whatever. But I have always continued to seek more knowledge over my whole career, and I still am actively. And I hope that I don't ever lose that. So I've grown a lot in that way, and just how to control my voice and how to last on tour whenever you're singing like 5 nights a week. Um, in the cold, in the winter,
Mm,
harsh
yeah.
conditions, not sleeping very much, and what to do in those kind of scenarios. So I've learned a lot over the years. Um, as a guitar player, like I've just number one, I'm always trying to keep up with my dad, and
Mm,
he's a shredder. He's so good, and a lot of our music is like very riff driven and riff heavy,
yeah.
and so a lot of the time, like my dad will come up with a riff, or I'll come up with a riff, whatever, and then he needs to play something else over it, so then I have to then like learn how to sing at the same time as like putting this riff on autopilot. And so I feel like I've really grown as a guitar player just in like my chops and like having to take on more difficult parts. And then also like sharing the stage with a legend like George Lynch, playing Mr. Scary like on this last tour. Like, man, like not only does that take the talent itself to just like play the parts, but also like the nerves of going up there on stage and like doing such an iconic song with the icon that wrote it. Like that is overwhelming and can be really scary.
Yeah, that's
So,
gotta be.
just like stage presence would go into that as well, like how much I've grown. So, yeah.
What is the story, Cassandra, about the band's name, Paralandra? How did you come up with that, and who came up with that?
It's actually a C.S. Lewis book,
Hmm.
and my dad was reading it around the time that we started the band. And I actually wanted to name one of my cover bands Paralandra before our band. And they were all like, no, that's stupid. You just like it because it rhymes with Cassandra. And I'm like, no, it's cool. But anyway, my dad thought it was cool too. So we decided to take it.
On the album that came out last year, The Body Electric, there was a piano ballad, a beautiful song, Love of My Life, that really
Oh,
showcased your voice. Any future plans to do another ballad, maybe on some upcoming new music, perhaps?
well, thank you. It's it's weird to think about because normally piano ballads are like not my thing. Um, this one was just an exception because I had written it as an anniversary present for Jaren a few years ago and like never planned on releasing it publicly. It was just a personal gift, you know.
Mm,
Um, but family heard it and stuff and friends and they're like, you have to release that. Like people have to hear this song. And so anyway, I kind of like reluctantly did that one. But it turned out great. And I don't know, it's received such a positive response. Like people are using it in their weddings and like that is it's touching because it's like, really moving people's lives.
yeah.
And that's like what you would strive for, I think, ultimately as an artist, is to connect with another person. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm sure something will come out. I don't know. I'm not like outwardly intending trying to write another ballad right at this moment, but you
Mm.
never know.
So when can we expect new music from Paralandra?
Maybe later this year, maybe next year,
All
maybe the year
right,
after that, maybe all three.
maybe all three. But I know you have another project you have is the Life Project, right? Talk
Yes.
about that a little bit. I know you have some EPs coming out as well.
Yes. So the Life Project has two EPs coming out later this year. I dates are TBD
Hmm.
at the moment. Um, but I'm so stoked. These songs, we've been working on them for I think 3.5 years, different versions of songs. Um, and we've really been putting in the time and the effort and like I'm just so ready for them to be out in the open and for people to finally hear them, but also I'm just like so proud of how far that the songs have come because they really are that much better all this time later. So I'm glad that we did put in the work the way that we did. um Also, we recorded it in Dolby Atmos,
Mm.
so it's like the like full surround sound 3D listening experience. And so that aspect has been really cool, like seeing how you can program the drums to sound like they're all around you
Yeah.
or like to sound like you're sitting in the middle of the room while the band is rehearsing around you, and like those sorts of cool things that you can play with that just make the listening experience like that more crazy or moving or however you want it to feel.
So Life Project EP is coming out later this year. How about touring? I know there's some dates here in the spring coming up. Any more planned for the fall?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, Paralandra kind of starts hitting the road in May, but like mostly in June when we go out with Rehab for that 25th anniversary tour. And then we are actively planning a fall tour where we've already got some dates out west. We'll be playing Rock the Locks Festival in Umatilla, Oregon. I'm like really excited for that one. And Rocklahoma, of course, in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That'll be another really fun one. So yeah, we've got a lot of cool shows, and we're doing connecting shows in between them. We're going to be traveling all over the place, and we're still even planning a winter tour. So like there's a lot of plans and a
Yeah.
lot of places on the calendar.
A lot more to come from Paralandra. All right, we like to wrap up here on the MQP with 5 questions. So 5 questions for Casandra Carson. Any hidden talents?
Oh my gosh. I have so many. I'm a I'm a great jumper. I still hold my high school high jump and long jump record.
Wow.
I know this because my coach just tested me like 2 days ago. And told me.
That's great. First album you bought?
First album I bought would have been Blackbird, Alter Bridge.
Good one. First concert you went to ever?
First, well, real concert, I would say Three Doors Down and Red, Shrine Mosque, Springfield, Missouri.
Favorite cocktail?
Oh, okay. I stopped drinking this year.
Or
So
mocktail?
I'm trying to think like if I was to do one cocktail and one mocktail. Um, I don't know. I really like pineapple juice and Sprite
Hmm.
for a mocktail. Whatever you want to call that.
All
And
right. And
then liquid marijuana is what I would typically go to for a cocktail.
all right, last one. Favorite female vocalist of all time?
Oh my gosh. First one that came to mind was Kelly Clarkson. I'm
Mm,
going with it.
okay.
Go with the gut.
All right. She's Casandra Carson. The band is Paralandra. Their website, paralandrarocks.com. You can get tour dates and info and videos and all sorts of content. And Casandra is also on IG, Casandra Carson Official.
It's true.
Casandra, thanks so much for joining me here on the Metal Queens podcast.
Thank you so much for
Rock
having
on.
me. It was awesome.
And I'm Steve Richards. Thanks for watching, and make sure you share, subscribe to this podcast. And this is the Metal Queens podcast.